Yeah, man. I think this is an excellent show, man. Excellent person to go over.
Yes, the chart definitely lends credence to show the power, right? And not only the power, but what happens when you get to a certain level of power. And so,
Yeah.
it's an excellent person to really examine why certain players in the world are dangerous, why they're considered to be um, a problem, right?
Yeah.
And you know, when you start off and then you understand astrology, a lot of times we start off with a view that is really kind of westernized. Just like we talked about with the sun sign piece, and you know, we think that we kind of understand what it is, but when you get deeper into it, you really get shocked to a degree because a lot of the mysteries and the confusion are removed, especially around signs and what they do.
Yeah.
And so Cancer has really gotten a reputation in the West that really kind of shows the type of soft natured, caring, considerate, devoted, sacrificial, motherly, paternal type individual. And that's only very partially true, right?
Hmm.
Cancers are actually really, especially for from the masculine aspect of it, from the masculine perspective, cancers are very much aggressive, right? Believe it or not,
It's a
right?
crap.
Exactly. This is not a push button type individual, right? Right? They're very much adamant and defensive and can fight, right? Muhammad Ali,
Cancer
right?
Ascendant, yeah.
Yeah, good brother friend of mine, Asar Ka, right? Cancer Ascendant. And the thing about cancers is that for men, a lot of times it gives them that kind of staunch, defensive, right? Kind of uh, no nonsense type disposition. But at the same time, once you know them, they diffuse you, right? They can really kind of show you that, no, there is a side to me that I am actually um, a type of individual that is considerate, polite, so forth. So it's kind of a strange mix, but for the most part, Cancer men are very much militaristic, right? They can be very um, needing to feel that protection, right? That safety, that security, and a lot of times physical defense, right? Martial arts, you'll find, any type of self defense, right? Cancers can typically lean into that, right? Because they have that need to, want to protect not only themselves but others.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm a Cancer Ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
I wrestled a lot coming
Mm-hmm.
up. That was one of my main sports. All
Yeah.
through
See,
middle school, high school. Then I got into capoeira, stuff like that.
see, that's the Cancer disposition. So, see, for the male side is very much aggressive, very much not domineering, but can come off a little tough, right? A
Hmm.
little, not rough, but not someone you just want to go in and pick a fight with, right? And so, um, Gaddafi, right, being a Cancer ascendant, now there are some conjectures about the times and the dates, right? Yes, we understand, right? And for the most part, these guys are trying. It's hard to get really solid birth certificate data, right? Because in those days, I mean, granted, he's born, and we're gonna talk about it and how his kind of upbringing was, but he's born where they don't have that kind of thing, right? They don't have hospitals that stamp you and say, okay, the state recognizes you born at this date and this time. So we had to rely on some data. It may be a little. If you find data that's definitely contrary to it, just understand that this has not been scrubbed. It hasn't been rectified. It's just data that we've been able to garner, and it very much so fits the puzzle quite well, and you'll see how here in just a minute. So,
Confluence.
Absolutely. So he's a Cancer Ascendant at 2 degrees. I'm sorry, no, 12 degrees, which puts him in Pushya, Nakshatra. And so Cancer again, right? They show this disposition of being very patriotic, right? Very much protective of the homeland, right? They love their people, right? Cancers typically have a very strong, prominent love for their people, their community, right? And of course, like I said, an extension thereof of their nation. And so this individual, right, bar none, right? And I mean, this guy ruled for quite some time. He wasn't just a fly by night ruler. He stuck in there and fought the good fight to the very end. So
Yeah.
when you see this type of chart, it really speaks volumes to the power that it holds. And so his Mars, which is a very powerful planet, in fact, it's the Yoga Karaka for Cancer Ascendants. And so, because of course it rules the fifth and the 10th house, Mars is in the ascendant at 2 degrees, which is extremely powerful yoga. This is a Raja yoga, bar none, right?
Yeah.
And so you really understand that when you see this type of individual, not only do we know that he's a Cancer, has a Cancer ascendant, right? Pushya as a nakshatra, and Pushya are the ones that are very spiritually organized, right? They're very much designed to kind of handle higher knowledge, very hospitable. In fact, I've heard a number of times where people come there and they say they were treated like royalty when they come to his country. So very hospitable. Very well-rounded individuals. What Pushyas are, in fact, it's one of the symbols of Pushya is a flower, which talks about that symbol of being round, right, being whole. So Mars being in the ascendant definitely makes him a fighter, right? It's already Cancer, so he's just going to add more fuel to the fire, right? That Mars in the disposition is going to actualize that defense mechanism to the height of what you can imagine, right? So, looking at it, from the way he's described, right? There's kind of a strange thing that they say he's really a nice person. He's really generous. He's really giving. And I mean, actually, his country, if you think about how he ruled his country, and that's what Cancer is all about, right? Is their homeland. He took care of his own, right?
Yeah.
I believe, if I'm correct, your college education was free,
I
right?
believe so. I think they had quite a bit of free programs out there in Libya.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was reported that he shared a lot of the resources, and now this is reported because you got different sides from different perspectives. But one side said that he actually did share a lot of the resources with the nation. That he wasn't the type of leader, or quote unquote dictator, that would hoard or not really reinvest the money back into the country. That's what it's really about, is when you take the resources and put it back into the infrastructure. Right?
Well, they had a lot of oil wealth.
Exactly.
Right. So I mean, he as far as the citizens got, reportedly got a good bit of that oil wealth that was redistributed throughout the country.
Exactly. So that Mars in the ascendant really talks about protecting the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing about it is that the fourth lord, which is actually also considered, like your upbringing, your home, right, where you're from, the fourth lord is ruled by Mars, right? Venus is ruled by Mars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, whenever a planet rules another planet and it connects to a house, we call that sambandha,
Mm-hmm.
and that creates a direct connection. So that means that man loves, because Venus is in the 10th, looking back at the fourth, his home,